To
I
the
don't know who
Queen
this is
today.
for, but
It's
you need
your
to start
season.
exercising the words
Again, I say
effective
get connected
immediately.
to the Queen
Effective
today.
immediately, I'm
Walk
no
in your
longer playing when
purpose.
it comes to me.
You called to
Effective
this.
immediately, I am going to start making investments into my self care, my mental health, and my emotional wellness. Effective immediately, I'm giving myself permission to no longer feel guilty when others try.
Join
It's
us
your time,
Thursday,
sis.
September 15th, 8,
It's your
15
time,
p.m.
sis. It's your time, sis. Get your heart together. Get your mind together. Forgetting those things that are behind, sis. It's your time. It's your time. It's your time. It's your time. Not in no cute church way, but because you're going to roll up your sleeves and start doing the work. I reached my breaking point. I can't be this way no longer. I can't think.
Welcome to another episode of Up Close and Personal with Angela. On behalf of Aspiring Authors Magazine, I want to thank you guys for tuning in once again. For those that do not know who I am affectionately known as the Queen of Collaborations. I'm the founder of AALAC, which is the African American Author Literacy Awareness Campaign. I'm also the CEO of Aspiring Authors Magazine, where my whole desire is to bridge the gap between brown authors all over this world and to touch on topics that's affecting our brown community that others don't want to talk about. With that being said, I'm taking this opportunity to showcase 122 authors from around the world, giving them an opportunity to share their brand, to share their message, whatever it is that is laid on their heart. I take great pride and joy in the L3 movement, which is learn, love, lead, because we're always learning and we're moving in love in order to lead. With that being said, I really want to move out the way because y'all know I can get going, but I want to move out the way and allow my special guest to come up and allow her the opportunity to introduce herself and share a little bit about her brand. Hello. Welcome. How are you today?
I am fine. I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
It's an honor and a privilege. I take great joy in utilizing my platforms to give others a voice and an opportunity to share just what it is that they're doing and what's been laid on your heart. Because we all have a purpose. We all have a journey and a purpose in this world. So, with that being said, who is Miss Pamela? Could you introduce yourself to those that may not know you?
Okay. Um, my name is Pamela Grace Lawson, but I go by P. Grace Lawson. I am from Talladega, Alabama, and that upbringing really shaped who I am today. Um, my parents died. I have two younger sisters, and our parents died in the same year when I was 11. And so we ended up living with my father's sister. And I don't know, but it's just me or everybody feels the same way. But I really feel that we had a special childhood. I the people we were around were old because my father was 20 years older than my mother. My father was born in 1913, and that's the same year that my mother's father was born, 1913. So we grew up around people who were old. I knew someone who actually bought her clothes in a cauldron outside. Then she progressed to a washing machine with a wringer. She had a pedal sewing machine that I learned how to sew on. I grew up, I learned how to make biscuits, cornbread, all of that stuff. And those memories stayed with me. And when I graduated from high school, I attended a de facto segregated school. Don't ask me why I chose UC Berkeley. I think it was because I had a cousin who was going there at the time. After our parents died, the aunts got together and decided they would send us to California for the summer. And so I remember going on Berkeley's campus with my cousin and just being in awe because, hippies were still on the campus at that time. Coming from Alabama, I had never seen a hippie before. And so I was hooked. I was going no place but Berkeley, even though I had gotten like a full ride scholarship at Talladega College. And so off I went. And I tell this long-winded story because it was not my goal to be a writer. I was always that weird girl I loved horror from a young age. I would look at the animals. We used to walk up and down the road from our house and the schoolhouse to our aunt's house where we stayed at night. And animals get hit on the side of the road, and I would be the one looking to see what had progressed, from the day before. So I really wanted to be a forensic pathologist. Well, Berkeley changed all that. It's not that when I got there, or my sisters also attended UC Berkeley, and it's not that we weren't smart enough to be there. That was not the case at all. But I will tell you that education is not equal. We, I found that I was sorely lacking in the math that I needed to be able to do the pre-med majors, even though my sister somehow overcame those barriers and achieved that. But Berkeley is where I got the first inclination that maybe I should be a writer. I took this class and they commented at the end that I should turn that paper into a book or a screenplay. And I did absolutely nothing whatsoever. This is also about the concept of God trying to tell somebody something and they don't listen. That was definitely me. So that was my first, little nudge. Then later on, I really got into the horseback riding thing, and it was also from childhood as well. But I used to tell my instructor, I should write a book about a Black detective who rides dressage. And she's like, yes, you should. I can totally see you doing that. I did nothing with that, nothing. And because when you grew up in the South during the era that I did, you were expected to be a lawyer, a doctor, or a teacher, maybe a dentist. But if I had told someone I wanted to be a writer, they would have been like, well, how? How are you going to support yourself? So we come to the present, to now, about 2 years ago. And I had gone through a series of careers. I've been an administrative assistant, x-ray tech, ultrasound tech, and I was miserable in all of those. That's another little hint that, the universe was telling me something. So finally, I had an accident at a family reunion. And while I was lying in the bed, and to distract myself from the pain, I thought, what if there were these werepanthers? Well, what if there were these women warriors and they shape-shifted into these werepanthers that ate people? And that was the genesis. I even had a cousin tell me she had a dream that I was this famous author. And this was before I even told her about the story. And so it finally clicked. Maybe this is what I am here to do. And so when I returned to California, I sat down. I got up every day at 7. I was at the computer and I whipped out that story in 3 months. Of course, it was a hot mess. It had to undergo many, 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 many revisions. And you can use some more work, but it's out there. I think it's a good book. My second book is even better because I have learned. But the story, when I finally get into it, is called Rise of the Ravenisha. And I got that name from my niece. She was a huge That's So Raven fan. And one day she told her mother and me that if she had a girl, she was going to name her Ravenisha. And of course, we were just like, oh, no, you are not. And that was it. Totally forgot about it. But then 10, 11 years later, I'm sitting at the computer trying to think of a name for my women warriors. And Ravenisha pops into my head. So the story is about these Dahomey women warriors, kind of like think of the Roman king that's out now, known as the Ravenisha, and they were deceived into slavery and taken to Ravenswood, Alabama, where they endured centuries of abuse. So they survived only because of their ability to shapeshift into werepanthers. Now their granddaughters are poised to liberate them, all if they can overcome their own issues in areas of bondage. And I will tell you now, I never expected to write a book like that. I actually read horror and mysteries. I don't read a lot of fantasy. but those are the words that poured out of me. And so, and I feel like I have a story to tell. I've completed Rogue Ravenisha, the second one, and I have plans for Revenge of the Ravenisha. And so I think I'll stop talking right at that point.
Wow. And can you tell us about your book?
Yes, that's what I just described as the homie warriors.
Uh-huh.
And
do you have the book? Can you show the book?
Of course. This is the cover. And I want to add, y'all, that Amazon has moderated my cover because they said it is too sexual. I see a woman crouching down, almost like she's a predator who's about to pounce on somebody.
Right.
I see nothing showing. I mean, they have romance novels that show way more than that.
Right.
But yes.
Wow.
They have.
So what type of book exactly? What type of writing do you exactly do? Is it?
It's
like
well, it's fiction.
Is it like sci-fi?
No, it's not sci-fi.
Okay.
It is fiction. I think it's more in the oh gosh, now I just had a brain for it, but there is a name. I would think magical realism, and there's a genre that speculative
I
fiction.
heard you say warriors.
Yes, it's speculative fiction, and that's where you have this world where these paranormal or supernatural creatures exist alongside humans, and the humans don't bat an eye. So that's the type of story it is. And I actually went against the grain with the story in that as you know, I have to be different here, but I centered the story in Talladega, Alabama, and so it doesn't really, and it's in the present tense, so it's not set sometime in the future. And to me, that's more science fiction when you set the stories really far into the future. I have a bunch of characters. Yes, I do. I will tell you that now. And it's long, even though I don't consider about 360 pages to be long. I recently learned people think that's long. That's a long book. But because this time I had to do the world building in this novel. Mm-hmm. So that's why there's a lot of characters and it's long. And there's humor injected in with the scary bits. There's going to be some scary bits because I love horror. And so I think that it throws some people off when you think about fantasy, because it's not Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Like that. Think more Black Panther or the Woman King, except that you have the Black Panther angle and add a little horror. So that's the closest I can tell you. It's more like Black Panther, the Woman King, and then you got these scary Black Panthers.
Wow, Black Panther is near and dear to my heart. Chadwick Boseman is actually from my hometown, Anderson, South Carolina. He is from Belton. He actually grew up in Belton, but he graduated high school in Anderson, South Carolina. And that's where I was born and raised. So that's kind of near and dear to my heart. So, yeah.
Yes, you know what? Black Panther was out at the time that I had my fall. And I thought, well, I love the women warriors in that. And I thought, but I can't make my warriors exactly like that. And I love the whole Black Panther concept. And so I think subconsciously, that's really how my book evolved the way it did. I have a panther being one of the key characters in the book. She's like a friend to the women warriors. So it has everything. It has action and adventure, sisterhood, which is so important to me. I try to share with people slices of my life growing up in Alabama. So it has a lot.
like when you begin to share and you begin to share your story, I just begin to picture myself. I don't know I really don't know your age, and we could be close in age, but I lost my mom.
57. I wrote it when I was 55. I'm now 57.
Okay, well, you and my sister. My sister's actually a year older than you. But yeah, I lost my mom 12 days after my 16th birthday. My sister actually helped raise me. So I definitely could relate to your story. My grandmother, my aunts, all of them played some part in raising me.
Yes.
And I grew up in the country. I'm from the small town. One way in, one way out. We grew up. We farmed everything. We raised all our animals. I remember climbing trees and shaking the trees for the pecans, for pears falling down, for the pears to fall. All of that. Drinking goat milk.
Well, we didn't drink goat milk, but we ate muscadines.
Muscadines, yep.
Little Talladega, Alabama has
dropping that bucket down in that well and drawing fresh water up, and I'm talking about ice cold water coming straight from that well. Like I know what it's like, and then smelling them fresh biscuits being made. I'm talking about, and then when it was canning season, your grandma didn't get in there and start doing all that different canning.
I wish I had learned though. I used to watch, but I did not learn. I am so happy because that is my book. It's an ode, really, to the strong Black women who raised me in the deep, deep South.
Yes.
And that was my hope, that people would read it and go, "Oh, my grandmother just told me these stories," or "My mother did this," because my book opens with a scene of the women of the I'm trying to say two words, of the women picking poke salad on the side of the road.
Yes.
And I distinctly remember my mother and her sister driving along the road, and my sister going, "Margaret, stop! There's some poke salad." And my mother stopped, and they got out, and they picked the poke salad, and I have a vague memory of the taste of my mother letting me taste it. So.
Yeah, it was a very strong taste, and it had to be cooked the right way.
Yes.
It had to be cooked the right way. See, a lot of people don't. They gonna tune in and listen to this, and they gonna know what we talking about.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm telling you, some good old times. Muscadine, and I don't know if your parents and grandparents made, but mine used to make muscadine wine.
Angela. I'm doing my last trip to Alabama in April.
Mm-hmm.
We found a winery. A winery. Why am I? I am mixing my words up today. We found a winery called the Bryant Family Winery, and they make muscadine wine.
Wow. See.
Yes.
Yep. I know my
got a whole case of it.
Wow. That's from the childhood.
Yeah.
I remember those days. I remember running out in the field and just busting a watermelon just because it was out there and we could do it. We get in trouble later, but we ate that watermelon.
Oh, I know. And did you all grow yellow watermelons?
Yes. Yeah. And I don't even like watermelon now. I do not like watermelon. I eat a cantaloupe, but I don't eat watermelon now.
Well, I still eat watermelon. So, and I tried to go a little bit light on the slavery because somebody evidently did not like that in my book. I'm not going to name any names or point any fingers, but he took great umbrage with it. He also I depicted the scenes where they're always, they're on the porch and they're rockers. And so I thought, wow, because he said that, and they're sitting on the porch, like gossiping like schoolgirls. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you obviously, there you go. You've never been to the South. because we would go around visiting people, and
Mhm.
yes, we would. We'd sit on the porch, and it's like, duh, yes, we would gossip. That was the whole point of the visit.
Be
So,
out in the yard playing, and parents be on the porch gossiping.
yes,
Up under or on the men usually be out up under the shade tree.
yes. Oh my gosh, yes, yes. And so this is what I'm talking about. I think that when I first started out, I wanted to write for everybody,
Mhm.
but I've learned that no, everybody's not going to get it. And I need to focus on my audience members who will understand.
Exactly. And what is your message for those that would support your platform and support your books?
My message is that this is this is for you. It's for I'm not excluding black men and men of color, but I'm a black woman. And sisterhood is so important. People have told me that they can tell that the relationship between the three main women warriors must have been molded from the relationship with my sisters, because there's three of us. And I want people to know there's so many things. I want people to know that we can do what we want to do. And I know people say that all the time, but I have found that to be really true. I mean, here I am. I love horses, but I don't do Western riding. I do English, and there aren't a whole bunch of black faces. Can't tell you all the barns I've been to, and I've been the only black person out there. But I want people to know that don't let that deter you. I want people to know that you may be 55 and you may still be wondering why you're here on this earth and what your purpose is, but it's not too late to change your path and do what it is that you're here to do. And I want people to know that we have a rich and varied history, and we are various people. We have all different kinds of skin tones, but underneath, and people say family. I really do. I mean, we are family. And when we grew up in that neighborhood, people told us later as we grew up that they were watching out for me and my sisters. When we were walking up and down the road, they were looking out their windows to make sure we made it to our aunt's house safely, or that we made it safely to the school or to our home house. And again, I'm just trying to keep it all alive. I know some people have said, come in, "Ooh, that's a cooking lesson. That's a cooking lesson," and it is. I have scenes in the book because for me, the kitchen is the heart of the house. So I have scenes in the book where they're cooking, and it's to keep people, it's to remind people that we can cook, and for them to continue on and not let those old ways just go by the wayside.
Do you have recipes in your book?
I don't have like, put a cup of flour, but yes, I do. They're teaching one of the young girls how to cook, and so they're just like, okay, get the cast iron skillet. You go put a little bit of bacon grease in. Da, 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 da. So
Right.
that's
Makes
it.
biscuit. Wow. I mean, it really, you touching on something, like you sharing with the youth how to connect with those that have come before us,
Right.
because a lot of the big mamas and they're gone. We don't have big mamas like
Yeah.
we had back when we were coming up,
Mhm.
because I had a couple big mamas in my life,
Mhm.
and we don't have them anymore.
Yes.
And I'm thankful for this book, because this book is sharing a piece of history, and it's keeping that legacy alive. and keeping those traditions alive. So definitely, I definitely want people to be able to get this book. I have your website. I'm going to put it up on the screen so people can see your website. If you would tell them how they can connect with you and support what you're doing, and if you have any new projects, because you shared you have a second book coming out, share how we can connect and get those.
Okay. I am on, if they go to my website, the www.pgracelawson.com, I have, they can, of course, order from Amazon, although
I prefer them to order.
I'm still kind of mad at Amazon for moderating me. They go moderate my ads. They still will sell the book, but oh no, not the ads. So there's Amazon. They can order from a bookstore here in Elk Grove called A Seat at the Table. I am actually setting up, I'm in the process. People will notice if they go to the website, there's a cart at the top, but it's not completed yet, but they will soon be able to order the books directly from me. I am on all of the social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and it's easier to just look under my P. Grace Lawson or Ravenisha Nation. And here's my second book. It's called Rogue Ravenisha. And here's the Panther Raven, who's their ally. So, and this book really focuses on one of the characters in the Rise of Ravenisha. Her name is Freddie, and she's like this little badass girl that just, she's super duper smart. And I don't want to give away things, but she's going to go and rescue her mother that she's never seen. So she just takes off one day and she gonna go rescue her mama. So this sets into sets a series of events then of people going after her, and it's another epic adventure, and it's kind of fast paced and action filled, and more cooking lessons because she's the one that they're teaching to cook. And actually, Freddie's story is kind of interesting in that her father is also her mother's father. And I will tell you that somebody who read the book, I'm having a producer look at it, they are concerned about the incest. And I want to tell them that that's American history.
And it happens.
It happens. My great grandmother's father was her mother's father. So I'm just like, where's the lie? So, and she's been kept in a lab all her life because Rufus, this is the, one of the villains, but it's not, and for the white people, he is not the only villain. I tried to even it out by Queen Idea is one of the warriors women's friends in Africa, and so she betrayed them, so she's a villain as well. But Freddie is really precocious. She's now learned that she has a family and that there are people like her who can shapeshift, and she tells Rufus during one scene, when this is over, she is going to live with her family and he better not try to stop her. That's the way she talks, to the adults, like she grown too. So it's about during the second year now, she grows up. Teddy also matures even more. I deliberately made her kind of emotionally immature in Rise of the Ravenisha so that she would have room to grow. So it's for everybody. I have, the older generation Ravenishas, like kind of like our age here. Then the new gens, they're about to be 30, so they're pretty young. And then I have Freddie, who's a preteen. So it's a little something for everybody.
Wow. I'm excited. And when is this second book coming out?
That is a good question. I was gonna shoot for Halloween of this year, but it's too early. So I would say 6 months to a year. So even though I have the cover, I still need to get some other little things done, and I don't want to rush it out because I want it to be really good and to be a clear um, improvement from the first one. So
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I truly have enjoyed sitting down and talking with you on today, because it truly have taken me back to that village mentality. What I share on my platform often, and I truly believe in divine connections. And I don't believe in mistakes. I believe that this was ordained because you come on and you were sharing things that I've been sharing. Somebody needed to hear this on today, and they needed to hear it from you. So I'm glad that you took the opportunity to come and share on today. I'm gonna have to get that book because we need to learn how to sow into people, because a lot of these young kids, for whatever reason or another, they don't have that big mama connection. They don't have that respect for elderly.
right.
It's like there's a gap, and I'm truly, books like yours and what you're doing is amazing in bridging that gap.
Yeah. And I've learned too that some things about our culture I thought that they would be more widespread, but other people when they read the book, they didn't understand the whole sister friend thing, or that Teddy and her cousins, um, even though they're cousins, they consider themselves sisters and not cousins. And so that's when I started realizing that, oh, okay, this does not follow your format. Again, this is not Lord of the Rings or
Right.
even
They don't understand.
type of thing. This might be, it's going to cause some people, they're going to wonder, which category to put it in. But I felt, again, I don't know where the words came from. That's the story that I wrote.
But it's a story that needed to be shared and can be shared in so many different levels, because you can relate to a lot of people through this. Think about the warrior, just being the Black Panther type warriors, having that type, for those type individuals that can relate to that. You know what I'm saying? And then just regular people like me that can just, can watch a movie and, relate, get it from the movie, read between the lines. It's going to touch a lot of people, and then not it age wise. It relates to, it can grab the teens, and even the younger kids, because they can relate to animals. They can relate to the Panthers. They might not be able to relate to the adult or the child that's being portrayed in there, but they can relate to that panther and those other animals that you utilize.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. That is true. Yes.
Because you know how nowadays a lot of the other people, they treat they pets better than they treat a human, and they can relate to their pets better than they can relate to humans. I'm saying they got furs. They got. I'm saying I live in Myrtle Beach, and I be seeing them pushing. They have their little dogs in strollers pushing their dogs. I'm like, okay, now aren't you supposed to, the dog? You supposed to be walking the dog?
That's too much. That is.
Pushing the dog in strollers, like dogs sitting up looking around like. And I'm talking about, I see them in the cars, and they be sitting up looking like humans.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, now see, some of them go too far with that. But they treat their animals better than they treat. So I figure sometimes they make him relate, because they can relate to that animal and that message that you're portraying through. They may not be able to get the message that about the sisterhood, because no, I got a sister, my sister and my cousin, they are a day apart. They're a day apart. My sister was born on August the 7th. My cousin was born on August the 8th. The same year.
Yes.
The same year. They best friends. They just come from everywhere they go. Every year they go on a trip. They just came from New Orleans.
That's great.
They went to Vegas last year. I'm talking about every time you turn around, they doing something together. They sisters. And then my sister.
They don't understand that though. They don't understand that connection.
Yeah, how about my sister? They a day apart, and then my sister and me are 10 years apart. My cousin and her sister are 10 years apart. And how about me and my cousin 21 days apart?
Wow. Yes.
Yes. So yeah, I always call, like, nobody, like, people be like, is that your cousin or is that your nephew? When my mom passed, my aunt became my mama. So all of my cousins became my sisters. Yeah. So their children became my nephews. So people be like, now I thought that was your cousin. She my sister and my cousin. People don't understand.
Yes. Yes, you understand. You got it.
Not only that, when people look at my aunt and they be like, is that your daughter or your niece? So yeah, they don't get it. But when I love that village mentality, because I remember when I was younger, I used to be a hellion, and I used to get in trouble. And wherever I got in trouble at, they disciplined me there. And if I stopped along the way, on my way home, I got it on the way home until I got to where I was going. And I bet you I didn't do it again. But see, we don't have that now. You have people want to beat you down if you look at their child wrong. If you say something to them.
Yes.
And then the kids want to call 911 when they introduce 911 and child abuse. I'm talking about, we used to get. They talking about you tap a child now, that's abuse. But honey, a tap, we used to have to go break our own switch and then braid them. Yeah, you used to have to break our own tree and then braid them, because if it wasn't long enough and thick enough, you had to go get another one. Oh yeah.
We don't do that. And I get it. I mean, nobody wants to beat a child. Nobody's condoning that at all. But I mean, look at us. We turned out okay.
And we still here.
Or
look, we didn't die.
Exactly. Even though it felt like it sometimes.
And still got use of limbs.
Or razor strap. That was my mother's favorite.
My aunt had this leather strap. It was red, white, and blue, and we called it the red, white, and blue. We did not want to see her coming with that, because back then she didn't have no kids. She had one son, and he's the youngest grandchild. He's 30. My aunt's 81.
Oh Lord.
My aunt's 81. She turned 81 in June. Her son will be 31. He'll be 31 in December. Oh yeah. But yeah, I truly have enjoyed. I've enjoyed this today, and being able to reminisce and being able to allow people to see what it was like and how we grew up. You know, yeah. And I tell people all the time, I am being the change that I want to see. I want to see that again.
Yes.
I want to see that again. So I am grateful for you coming on and sharing with us on today. Again, if there's anything that you would like to share before we leave, please take this opportunity to share it right now.
I just want to say that it's okay to be different, because it's a strange world we live in. On the one hand, people are encouraged to be different, but I don't think it really encapsulate. When I'm saying it's okay to be different, I mean it's okay to be that weird kid. And I view myself as, if you lined up white Converse tennis shoes, I would be the red high tops in the center. And that, don't let people break your spirit. You know, if that means you, in a way, have to be like this little badass child, then I'm not saying be disrespectful, but hang on to your conventions. Don't let people break you, because there are haters out here, and there are people who do not want to see you succeed, and they will try their best to break you down.
Wow. Well, I definitely want to thank you for stopping by and sharing. I want you to know that this platform is always open. So whenever you get ready to release that book, make sure that you stop back by and share with us.
Thank you. And it was so great to actually talk to somebody who knew what I was talking about.
Yes. I tell you, God knows what you need when you need it. And I needed this on today. I needed this, because this is what I preach on my platform on a day-to-day basis, and sometimes you wonder if people are hearing you. So I needed this confirmation, you coming behind and you sharing in a different way, but it's the message that I've been trying to get across. You know, we got to reach back and pull out for those ancestors, those things from our past.
Yes,
because they are who shaped us.
Exactly.
So thank you for stopping by and sharing. Thank you for deciding to write that book and putting it in a book to share with the world.
Yeah.
So thank you for being obedient, and I look forward to
after
seeing you.
All these years, and I was only 55 when I finally decided to listen.
But sometimes we have to go through some things so we can. But this journey that He have us on, everything that He has purposed for us. Look, I'm trying to catch up with my destiny, because it's already been preordained for me. Mm-hmm. Everything that He has preordained for us is Jeremiah 29:11. It's already here.
Yes.
We got to catch up to it.
Yes.
So I'm trying to catch up with all of that, and I'm gonna be sitting over here waiting for that book to drop, so we can help some more people catch up with their destiny. Mm-hmm. Because that's what those books that you have are going to do. It's going to help some people catch up with their destiny. Because a lot of us ain't getting it right now. And you're going to be able to help. You're going to be able to help some people. So I'm grateful and I'm thankful for you today.
Thank you.
Again, if there's nothing else, I'm going to conclude this portion of the interview. I want everybody to know that it will be available on replay on iHeart, on Google Podcasts, and on Speak.com. I'd like to hear the replay. If you know someone that may be blessed by what has been shared on today, I want you to make sure you share this in your circle of influence. Make sure that you go over to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure that you connect with Miss PG Lawson. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Grace, my middle name. P. Grace Lawson.
P. Grace Lawson. I want to thank you for stopping by and sharing with us on today. I have truly been blessed.
Thank you.
Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day. I want to thank you guys for stopping by for another episode of Up Close and Personal with Angela. I truly hope that you have been blessed by something that was shared on today. If you would, I want you to take this opportunity to go over and support Miss P. Grace Lawson. I tell you, she dropped some nuggets on today. Y'all, we got to reach back and pull off our ancestors and get back to that village mentality. We didn't get dropped out of the sky. We got placed here. We strategically placed here. He had a plan for us. I hope you guys have been blessed on today. Know that the Queen loves you and there's nothing you can do about it. I'll see you guys back here on next week with some more amazing authors. Make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel and that you are following me on social media. I love you guys. Be blessed.